Points I agree with Crowder on in his video, which again I think wildly misrepresents what actually happened between him and the Daily Wire and is just a desperate money grab now that he's unemployed, was this.
Okay, we're jumping into Mark Dice. I want to hear, this is not going to be about Steven Crowder. That's where he is in this video. It's going to be about Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Daily Wire. Through Mark Dice, I want to get some, I have not listened to this yet. I want to get some different perspectives in there and do a live react. Let's go.
They don't want a group of rebellious rabble-rousers who want to learn, fight like hell, and laugh together. You're of no value if you can't all be kept in line to some degree. I don't mean some master plan to eliminate you. Just subdue you a little bit. Just soften your edges a little bit. Just play ball a little more.
That's a good point.
It's a great point. Even Mark Dice, Mark Dice and I agree on those points, and that's all I cared about with the Steven Crowder stuff. I didn't care about anything else. It was just that great point and Steven Crowder was right. Recently, we saw Destiny. Let's look at this. Let's look at this before we continue with Mark Dice. We looked at Destiny, and Destiny had done the rounds with Daily Wire. He did the Jordan Peterson recently. He had done the Ben Shapiro, which was oddly not a debate. Destiny in his prime would have debated Ben Shapiro. This version of Destiny basically worshipped Ben Shapiro. That was weird. That was very, very weird. And then Destiny went on his show, and he called this a joke. You tell me if this sounds like a joke to you. So he went on that show. He went on with Candace, and then after the Candace one, he was surprised that there was pushback, almost like there was like supposed to be some type of agreement. Like why are you surprised that Candace she's a classic debate girl? Come on. He went on the rounds with basically all the Daily Wire guys, some of the major Daily Wire guys, and here's what he said. I'll preface this. Destiny said this was a joke. You tell me, does this sound like a joke to you?
Did you really message Ben? What do you mean? Yeah, of course. Ever since I started the Israel-Palestine arc, I've gotten so many connections. I've gotten like new payment processors. I get like there's a lot of people there's a lot of organizations that kind of like send me revenue and they shoot me like talking points or whatever, or they'll like recommend me like books. They don't like control what I say on stream, of course, but they'll like suggest like, hey, you should take a look at this. And then, and then they also sound like a decent chunk of change. I was like, well, if you're going to pay me, like 30,000 new shekels or whatever, why the fuck would I not take a look at the material that you want me to read and repeat on stream? And also part of this is connecting me to kind of like a network of, they call them the Julumni. It's like alumni, but for Jews, I guess. And then in these Julumnis, imagine you kind of have the like the war room, okay? But it's not actually the war room. They call it the new Yeshuv on Discord. And in this Discord, there's a whole bunch of like really powerful Jewish people that I have access to if I want to chat with them about any particular issue. And Shapiro, obviously, and the other co-owner of the Daily Wire in there. And after my Candace Owens conversation, yeah, I reached in there. I was like, Ben, what the like this lady is like slandering me on fucking Twitter. Can you do something about this? And he'll tap his Jewish contacts. He'll see how receptive I've been to some of the money that they kind of like funnel to me to like talking point shit related to Israel Palestine. And then he said, feels like I checked out. And then, yeah.
He had the audacity after that to say it was a joke, and anybody who believes that's a shill or an idiot. I don't know what's real or not, but that didn't sound like a joke to me, bro. And it lines up with everything that we've seen. So you can see how smart he is. He tries to hide, my opinion.
They got it from an arbiter.
The truth in the open through hiding it behind, it's just a joke. Let's go to the Censored Men tweet that I talked about just in a couple videos ago.
Turning Point USA or PragerU won't be allowed to criticize anything Israel does to the Palestinians that's anti-Semitic, or how the anti-BDS laws violate the First Amendment.
Well, you get the point. And now the Twitter account Censored Men, which first broke exclusive inside information about the Candace Owens Daily Wire beef, revealing emails from inside the Daily Wire, which nobody at the Daily Wire, Jeremy Boring including, denied were false, or fake, and then later it turned out that it was obviously true. Now they're saying that they have a source that Ben Shapiro is working behind the scenes, and this makes perfect sense, to discredit Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Andrew Tate, who I do think is actually a clown, and
I agree.
Charlie Kirk. And if you just take a look at some of the stories over at Mediaite, you could see that they've been quite obsessed with nitpicking Candace.
You see the stories? Candace Owens, these are all Isaac Shores, just out in the open, bold like this. Like, we're not going to clip it and see it. Candace Owens goes out in the most fitting way possible by asking for money. Asinine, Ben Shapiro unloads on senile old dotard Biden over his message to that country over there. Ben Shapiro blasts House GOP. Candace Owens endorses wild anti-Sem conspiracy theory. Come on, bro.
Owens and Tucker Carlson. Look at all these stories just recently. And Charlie Kirk. People go.
Daily Wire host condemns Candace Owens over Crisis King. Daily Wire CEO blasts Candace Owens. Ben Shapiro roasts Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's just, I mean, all positive Ben, all positive Daily Wire.
Going a little bit too far to the right. So then conservative Inc. has to deploy their assets, their little friends in the media, in order to write smear pieces about them.
Tucker
and I'm not going to
Carlson.
detail the long.
Then they did Tucker Carlson too. Tucker Carlson, you see why Tucker goes, because Tucker knows all this is happening. So you see.
So then conservative Inc. has to deploy their assets, their little friends in the media, in order to write smear pieces.
Tucker Carlson accuses Israel of unliving Christians. Tucker Carlson once bailed on an event he was hosting over 9/11 conspiracy. Charlie Kirk says he's impatient with many J-team for accepting anti-white bigotry and warns countries on the road to mass destruction. Paraphrasing. Exclusive. Turning Point USA is operating a secret website distancing itself from Candace Owens. Well, that is true, I think. Ben Shapiro is on the warpath to purge the conspiratorial cranks from the right.
About them. And I'm not going to detail the long list of reasons I've been trying to tell you for 8 years now that Ben Shapiro should be shunned from the conservative movement, like how he amplified Michelle Fields' hoax about Donald Trump's campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, allegedly assaulting her and trying to throw her to the ground back in 2016, or how he literally said that he wanted Hillary Clinton to win in 2016 and beat Donald Trump, or how for 12 or 15 years he's been calling Ron Paul, of all people, an anti-Semite because he didn't want to give aid to Israel or any other country. Or how he was captured on a hot mic, being afraid to call pansexual people weird because he didn't want to lose sponsors. He was going to lose some money if he offended the rainbow people like that. Or how he openly said that Scott Adams was a racist and should have gotten fired, should have lost his syndication deal with Dilbert because he simply said that he preferred to live in a white neighborhood.
And that's not even what he said. He just said, if you want to stay away from me, then I'm fine with that. I'm going to stay away from you.
Or how he said that
that's about the Scott Adams one, but Mark Dice got all the old. I forgot all this stuff happened, man. Bringing back all this. All of this is evidence that Ben Shapiro, in my opinion, should be at least. I think he should be a foreign agent. It's clear, it's obvious, but the thing that we don't have is the financial records to have him have to register under FARA. But we've got everything else. So I don't know what the legal process is. I'm looking into trying to see if I can find out I'm not to do it, but just to see what it would be so I can prove my argument that we need to get to the point where there's a subpoena, something where we need to know where he's really at.
Donald Trump inviting people like myself to the White House back in 2019 for the social media summit was a terrible idea. Or it was a terrible idea for Tucker Carlson to interview Alex Jones on his new show on Twitter, which then soon resulted in Elon Musk restoring Alex Jones' Twitter account. Of course, Ben Shapiro had a problem with that. But it's good to see comments from people like this who say, I used to hear Mark Dice talk about Little Ben, and I thought he just had personal beef. Then I started listening to Shapiro and was bothered by what he was saying. Mark Dice was and always is 100% correct. Little Ben is a douche.
Yep. Great stuff from Mark Dice. Go check out his channel and that whole video there. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll be going through it. Maybe do some more reacts to it. Let me know what you think. Am I off base? I'm open to the feedback. I want to be challenged. I don't want to just have an echo chamber. Where am I off on this? Does it not matter? Have I not done a good enough job explaining why this matters? That's another thing that's concerning to me that I want to make sure does come through. But here's the website. If you want to help the channel out, just go to middlemaga.com, put your email up there so I can be in contact with you when YouTube takes me off. I don't want that to happen, but we have to understand that will. I'm going against the number one issue the number one issue that YouTube wants to protect against is what I'm going up against. There's not anybody out there. Well, Mark Dice is probably the biggest one, to be honest with you. He got 1.8 million subscribers. He's the only one I can think of that is anti that country openly. And I don't know if he's monetized or not. So, but I just want to be on YouTube. The monetized part is whatever. But I just want to be on there to have the voice out there, to have opportunity. But it won't happen. It won't be forever. I'll have to go to Rumble, put your email up in there on the website, and check out the articles and the videos. Maybe you might not have seen them all. There's my Boeing whistleblower one. And let me know what you think. Appreciate y'all.
Middle MAGA.